Well, good morning to you. Guy Watson here, Bognor Regis Bonsai. Today we have another victim of 3 or 4 months of neglect while I was incapacitated. It's a Viburnum Opulus. I believe it's a lace cap variety, and the grass is nearly as tall as the tree. So I'm going to weed it, get the grass off, then we're going to have a look at some of these branches because they need to be brought right back down to here. And they make wonderful cuttings. These, I've never had a failure with them striking. So I'm going to take about 5 or 6 cuttings of them. And obviously the roots need to be tidied up because they're a mess. Right, I'll do the weeding, then we'll get on with the pruning. Okay, well that's the weeding done. Now, before I pull the camera in, I need just to shorten it down and get all this lot more compact. So once again, we've got the 3 coming out. We're going to take out the middle one. So you've got one on this side, one that side, and we'll take out the middle. Keep that because I'll make the cutting that I mentioned about. And this one's up here, I think. Right. But what I might actually do is do the cutting straight away before they all dry out. It's quite hot down here this morning. There's lots of cuttings here. I'll just stick as many as I can in a pot. This tree, in fact, I was complimented on when I took it along to one of the bonsai meetings once. In the autumn, the leaves turn a lovely shade of browny red and almost rusty. Very nice tree in the autumn. Okay, take that one out. And there's one last one here and over here. And there's more, there's always more. Okay, now I've done that, I found another one. I'll put the tree out of the way. We'll just do these cuttings and then we'll get back to working on the tree. Okay, well I've picked out enough for 6 cuttings, so let's just see where we go. Cut just below that node, take off the bottom 2 leaves, and I'm using rooting gel, basically because that's what Yelly uses and he seems to have success. Then just put it in the compost. There we go. Right, and the same with this one. And as I say, what I've had with all these cuttings in the past from this tree is 100% success rate. But then I've just stuck them in a bit of dirt that's been in a tub just lying around. So I am expecting 100% success rate I'm hoping for. And the last one. Right, there we go. 6 cuttings of Viburnum Opulus. So I'll water these and put them in a shady part on the bench. Okay, now that the cuttings are done, let's get back to the tree. Just tidy it up where it needs tidying up. We've got some more 3 branches coming off there. And there. This one here looks too big and chunky up there. We'll take that off. Oh, don't need this stretching right across. Tidy it up there. No. And this can be shortened back to here. Take out the middle one again. This is definitely too long and straight, but there's no more growth back here. Unless something grows there, that's going to have to come off. There is another branch coming up here that will take over. So if I lose, I'll see if I get any form of budding back down here. I think there might be some buds coming up here. And if they do, actually we'll cut it off to there. Hopefully that'll encourage that to bud out. Here we have, this has got to be shortened. And again on this one. And up there. Now we're looking more like the tree should look like. Shorten this back. Yes, beginning to look in shape again. There, I think that's back in shape now. So, let's put this in the bin. We'll have a look at doing something with this moss at the bottom. This is all self-seeded, this moss. I haven't put any on at all. I think what I might have to do is get my tweezers out and try and pluck some of this moss away. Now this Viburnum Opulus mustn't be confused with Viburnum Opulus sterile, which is the snowball tree, which I've actually got one at the top of the garden. I've tried to take cuttings off that, but it doesn't root as easily as this one. So I haven't had much success with that bit. Right, I think what I'm going to have to do is get my tweezers. And just pull some of this moss out from in here. The birds are chirping away up there nicely. And one bird we had in the garden yesterday, I noticed for the first time, must have taken a left turn at the Tower of London, and a raven turned up haven't seen a raven in the garden for a long time, if ever. They're the birds that look like crows, but they've got the grey head. That looks better. I can see that trunk now. Ow. Careful guy, I caught my finger. And I'll just finish off doing that around the last little bit of the tree, then we'll come back. Okay, so there we are. The roots are a lot cleaner now and tidier. You can see them there. Looking quite nice, those. And let's give you a final spin. I'm beginning to really quite like this tree. Down here, I don't know if you can just see, there is actually a bud coming out there, as well as up on the top here, so we should get some growth there. And there we are, and that's what I foresee as the front. Right, let's put that in, I'll water that and then stick it back on the bench. Right, thank you very much. Well, good morning to you. Now what we've got here is an English elm, which obviously needs to be weeded out, but also, I thought I'd show you, on all these leaves, we have these little lumps on them. Now that's elm gall, I believe. Not harmful to the tree itself, just looks unsightly. So most of these are going to have to be chopped off. And it's all over it, so I'm going to have to lose quite a lot of leaves. But I thought I'd show it to you. I'll do the weeding, then we'll have another look after this and see what we've got to chop off. Right, see you later. Okay, well before I get on with the pruning, a couple of things down here that I just need to deal with. There's a couple of suckers that are coming up from down here. I have to get rid of those. And I've been plagued with a bit of liverwort. Whether or not the right way to go about getting rid of it, what I've been doing is I believe that something like scarifying, I know that's used for a lawn when you scrape it to get rid of any debris that's on the surface of it, but I've been doing a similar sort of thing with this marvellous double usage implement. A fork, you could also have your tea with it, maybe not only after washing it, but there you go, it can be done. But it seems to get rid of all the liverwort around. Anyway, I've been doing that with a lot of my trees, and we'll see how long they stay clear of the liverwort for. Well, I think there's that cleaned up. Let's just tidy up this tray, then we'll get on with trying to got my worms muggled. Trying to get rid of some of these gall-ridden leaves. Right, well let's have a go at chopping back some of these leaves. I can't really chop the whole lot off, or there'll be no photosynthesis going on with the plant. I'll just try and get rid of many of these leaves as I can. They aren't nice at all. We'll cut them as short as we can. Right, every leaf has got some of this gall on. So I'm told that it doesn't harm the tree itself, but just doesn't look nice. And I won't be putting them in the compost though, these leaves will be going in a bag going straight down to the tip, because I don't have a bonfire down here. Let's just chop this off, then I'll stop the camera and come back to it once it's done. Right, there we go. So I'll carry on doing that and I'll come back to you very shortly. Okay, well that's about as far as I'm prepared to go for now. I mean, I've taken a few bits off. All of these are covered in this horrible gall, but I'm taking off as much as I think I can. So let's just fill in with put some feeding baskets back on. And another problem we have, I mean, I always keep my bonsai baskets in one of the old washing powder pod boxes. That's now changing, they're taking away the plastic. I can totally understand that from an environmentally point of view. They've changed over to cardboard, but I'm going to have to try something else to keep my bonsai baskets in. Maybe I'll have to make one out of wood. Right, so there's that. Give you a quick 360. That's what I foresee as the front. Coming around to the back. And back to the front. Right, so let's just slip that off that. We can give it a quick water. And this can go back on the bench for the rest of the year. There we go, that's dripping through. Right, so I'll return that to the bench and see where we go from here. It's getting rather hot out here at the moment. Right, thank you very much then. See you later.